Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me for today's Vinyasa Flow class. Today's video is a little bit different from the ones I've posted so far in that there's a little more movement involved in this one. This class is designed to get the heat flowing, to get the energy moving. So remember that yoga should never hurt. Feel free to play a little bit, but work within your own personal limits. Feel free to sit out any pose that isn't comfortable. Child's pose, shavasana, downward facing dog are always options available to you at any point. So enjoy, and as you're ready, we're going to meet on our backs lengthwise on the mat. So set yourself up comfortably. Take your time to make your way down onto the mat. Feet are out towards each corner, arms open at your sides. Just a mini shavasana to get the exercise started. Finding grounding for the practice ahead. Close your eyes or soften your gaze so you're not looking at anything in particular. And bring your awareness to your breath. See if on your inhales you can feel yourself getting longer. Reaching the tips of the toes forward, the top of your head towards the back of the room. And as you exhale, see if you can feel yourself sinking a little bit deeper into your mat. And at the bottom of your next exhale, preparing to bring a little movement into your body, inhaling to reach your arms up and overhead. Maybe pointing the toes, bringing your feet back together. Again, working to be as long as you can on the inhale, as heavy as you can on the exhale. Take a couple of breaths just like this, reaching out, stretch out, point your toes if that feels good. Exhale, sink deeply into your mat. Inhale one more time here, and as you exhale this time, we're going to take our arms to the right corner of the mat. So bringing your body over a little bit more to the top of the mat, dropping that right shoulder blade out of the way to give yourself a little more room to play. And if you'd like to come a little deeper into the pose, option to bring your right feet or your feet to the right corner of your mat, finding a nice opening through the left side of the body. Supine crescent. Breathe here. Make sure you can get a full inhale and a full exhale. If you're finding it difficult to get a full in-breath, maybe ease your way out of the pose just a little bit more. And as you're ready to take your next inhale, walk your hands back to center, bring your feet back to center. Exhale here first, recentering before you inhale for length. And as you exhale this time, bringing your hands over to the top left corner of the mat, maybe dropping that left shoulder blade out of the way. And if you'd like to come a little bit deeper, option to move your feet to the left-hand corner of the mat as well, opening up through the right side of the body. Things may feel a little bit different from one side to the other, so you do not have to do the exact same thing on both sides. Inhale, make your way back to center, stretch out through the entire back side of the body. Reach on your inhale, and as you exhale, gently start to bend that right knee in towards your chest. Arms can come down, find length in the back of your neck. Hands can come over your right knee or gently under it, depending on the story of your right knee. If you've had any trauma, in particular any surgery to this right knee, please take the under the knee version. And as you ease into this pose, flex your left foot so that your toes point up towards the ceiling. Arms are just there for support. We're not using them at the moment to pull your knee in towards your chest. It's still very early in the practice. So just working with your breath as you exhale, drawing the air out of the lower lungs, getting the diaphragm out of the way, giving gravity a chance to help ease your thigh in towards your torso. Inhale one more time here. As you exhale, start to draw that right knee across your body, rolling over onto your left hip, coming into a half twist. If it feels good, option to circle that right arm overhead, but be very mindful of your spine and your shoulder this early in the practice. It may feel much better just to leave that right arm draped across the side body for now. Breathe here. And then as you're ready, making your way back onto your back, so circling your arm back up and overhead, rolling over, keeping that right knee bent, placing the sole of the foot on the mat, bending your left knee in to meet it, placing the sole of that foot down as well. Press into your feet, reset your hips, let your arms come down at your side. Inhale to straighten the right leg out on the mat, flex your toes up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest. Same rules apply for your left knee, be very mindful of it. Left foot can do whatever it likes. Right toes stay pointed up towards the ceiling. This helps to stabilize your pelvis, to prevent some rocking and rolling so you don't hurt your lower back. Again, resist the temptation to use your arms to yank on that knee right at the moment, but focus more on your breathing. See if you can exhale just a little more deeply, allowing for that real estate to appear so that gravity can help draw your knee in a little closer. Inhale one more time, and as you exhale, start to draw that left leg across your midline, rolling onto the right side body, maybe circling that left arm all the way up and over, or maybe just letting that left arm drape across your body, whatever feels best at this point in the practice. Be really mindful and listen to your body at all times. It's really good at telling you what's up. We just have to learn to listen. So if your arm is out, circle it back. Start to roll over onto your back once again. Bending your right knee in to meet the left. Press into the soles of your feet to reset your hips. Cross your ankles, bring your hands to your knees to draw everything in. Give yourself a little hug if that feels good. 2 options to make your way up. Either start to rock back and forth along the length of your spine, and we'll meet up in sitting. Otherwise, roll over onto one side and press yourself up into a seated position from there. As you're ready, make your way up, and we'll come right into all fours. So taking the time to set yourself up in the center of your mat. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Fingers are spread wide on your hands. Feet are either tucked or flat out behind, depending on what feels best in your ankles. And as you're ready, inhale, drop your belly button down. Let your gaze come to the top of the mat, cow pose. Exhale, reverse as you start to draw your belly button in towards the spine, as your tailbone and your chin roll down to meet. Inhale to look up, squeeze your shoulder blades together and down your back. Exhale, draw your belly button in, tuck your tailbone, round out as if you're trying to send your spine up and back between your shoulder blades. Inhale, move with your own breath. You do not have to be in exactly the same place as I am, but your breath should be in control of your movement. Don't worry too much if you're inhaling when you should be exhaling or exhaling when you should be inhaling. That will come with practice. Exhaling to really round out through your spine, and at the end of this cat, send your hips back towards your heels, finding a nice child's pose. So reach your hands forward if this feels good. Hips are back as far towards your heels as you can comfortably manage. And if your forehead comfortably makes contact with the mat, option to rock your forehead from side to side nice and slowly, engaging that acupressure point between your eyebrows known as the third eye in yoga. If you're feeling any strain into your shoulders, option to let your arms float out behind you. If your head does not comfortably meet the mat, option to stack one hand on top of the other. Maybe use a block, maybe use a blanket, whatever feels best in your body. If your arms are forward though, feel free to let your head be heavy, even if it doesn't make contact with the mat. This is a very good stretch for your lower back and your upper back, as long as you don't feel strain into your neck. On your next inhale, start to draw your body forward and up into tabletop. If your toes aren't already tucked, tuck them now. Press into your hands, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take any movements that your body feels like it needs here. So bend into one knee, then the other. We call this walking the dog, nice and slowly. Maybe wiggling your hips from side to side. Imagining if you had a tail, be a happy dog, wagging it from side to side, maybe coming up on your toes. And then gently drop your heels towards the earth. They do not have to reach your mat. Very few people have the flexibility in their ankles to comfortably have their heels touch the mat when they're in downward facing dog. Let your head always be heavy in downward facing dog. That's 9/10 of the win right there. Take a deep breath in, full breath out. Bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands or walk your hands back to meet your feet. When you get to the middle or the top of your mat, keep your knees bent, draw your fingertips up the fronts of the legs. Bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way up into standing. Your head will be the last thing to come up. And then shoulders start to lower as you come into mountain pose. Fingers are spread wide, middle fingers point down towards the ground, big toes together, heels slightly apart. If you're not already at the top of your mat, make your way there. We'll come into 3 rounds of our sun salutations. So as you're ready, on an inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Take a breath or two here in your first forward fold of the practice. Really feel down the back of the legs, but make sure there's no strain into your lower back or into the hamstrings or calves, the muscles down the backs of the legs. On your next inhale, come up to a straight spine, straighten your legs, bring your hands to your shins, open up your heart, bring your shoulder blades together. On your next exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands to the mat. Take a big step back with your right foot, big step back with your left. Make sure that your feet are about hip width apart, wrists are directly under shoulders, fingers spread wide. Release your knees, squeeze your elbows in, come all the way down in one straight line. On an inhale, use your hands to draw your body forward. Then use the muscles of your upper back to lift your shoulders up. Keep your gaze down to the mat, draw your belly button in, and press the fronts of the legs into your mat to support your lower back. On an exhale, lower down, press back through tabletop, downward facing dog. Again, take any movements here that you feel that you might need. Let your head be heavy, fingers are spread wide, feet are about hip width apart and should point directly to your wrist creases. Press into your hands to send the armpits a little bit closer towards your thighs, sending your hips up and back, finding that nice inverted V shape. Keep your knees as bent as you need to find comfort in this pose. Again, no strain down the back of the legs, no strain into your lower back. Bend your knees, walk forward to meet your hands, or walk your hands back to meet your feet, and either roll up as we did last time, or root down through both feet to rise up. Inhaling to come up. If it feels good, arms might reach up overhead. If they're up on an inhale, as you exhale, bring your hands down through heart center, and then we'll all meet in mountain pose, taking a breath here. Feeling into the sensations of your body after that first round of the sun salutation, and we'll move into round 2. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up to a straight spine. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to a high plank. Make sure you take the time to set yourself up so that your shoulders, hips, and heels are in one straight line. You don't want your hips up here. You don't want your hips down here. You want them in a nice straight line. Suck your belly button in. You can either release your knees and feet as we did last time, or squeezing the elbows in, come all the way down to the mat, one straight line, knees, hips, chest, chin. On an inhale, draw your body forward, then peel your shoulders up. Maybe you stay in baby cobra, trying to hover your hands up off the mat, press into the mat with your legs. Maybe press into your hands with just a little bit of pressure to come into full cobra. Make sure that the choice feels good in your body, and as you exhale, lower down, press back through tabletop, downward facing dog. Again, taking the movements that you might feel that you need. Press into your hands, spin the insides of your elbows gently towards one another. You'll feel your shoulders open up a little bit, which helps to prevent any kind of pinching into the shoulders in this pose. Again, head being heavy is really important in downward facing dog. It allows for the traction of the spine and opening up of the spaces between the vertebrae. This does wonders for people with low back pain. Take a deep breath in, full breath out, bend your knees. Walk forward to meet your hands, or walk your hands back to meet your feet. And make your way up into standing any way you like. Inhale, rise up. Always an option to roll up. If your arms are up, exhale them down through heart center, and we'll all meet in mountain pose. Take a breath here. Feel into the sensations of the body. Make sure you let the flush happen. If you've migrated away from the top of your mat, make your way back there now. And as you're ready, one last round. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up to a straight spine. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to a high plank, set yourself up. And then as you squeeze your elbows in, make your way down, either by releasing your knees and feet or coming down in one straight line. Inhale, come up to the cobra of your choice, either baby or full. And as you exhale, lower all the way down, press back to tabletop, downward facing dog. As you're ready, inhale the right leg up. Keep your hips level so the toes should be pointing down towards your mat. As you exhale, bend that knee. Draw it in as you round out to the backside of the body, placing your right foot down between your hands. Do not worry if it doesn't get there the first try. We're all built a little differently, so scooch as many times as you need to. And when you're ready, left knee comes to the mat, release the left foot. Take a moment to find your balance. Inhale, sweep your arms up, low lunge. As you exhale, hands come back down to frame your front foot. Tuck the left toes, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, make sure you feel stable, and as you're ready, coming into low lunge on the opposite side, inhale, left leg up. Keep the hips level, keep the left toes pointing towards the mat. On an exhale, bend your knee around out to the back side of the body, step your foot through, release your right knee down to the earth. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Nice low lunge, finding an opening through that right hip flexor, and as you exhale, hands come down to frame your foot. This time, as you tuck your right toes, press your hips up and back, but we're coming into high plank, not downward facing dog. So keep the hips nice and low. Once you're set up, as you're ready, make your way down to the mat any way you like. Squeeze the elbows in, come all the way down. Inhale, draw your body forward and up into the cobra of your choice. As you exhale, lower down to the mat, press back to tabletop, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. You can take any movements that your body feels like it might need. Otherwise, find some stillness. Deep breath in, full breath out. All right, bend your knees. Make your way to the top of the mat. Take your time. Hover as you get to the top of your mat. Keep your knees bent. Let yourself roll up one vertebra at a time, coming all the way up. Head is the last thing to come up. Scoop your shoulders up towards your ears on an inhale. Shoulder blades together and down your back on your exhale. Coming into a chair pose sequence. So you might want to find yourself in the center of your mat. Feet can either be together or hip width apart. It depends on what feels best in your body. We're all shaped a little bit differently. So if you're not sure which of these options is best for you, give them both a try. As you're ready, on an inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, send your hips back. So bringing the weight into the heels of the feet. Your toes will feel like they want to lift. Keep pressing into the outsides of your feet. Keep your knees bent. Keep your back in any position that feels good. So you can try tucking your tailbone. You can try letting it float back, whatever feels best. From here, inhale, reach up. As you exhale, draw your belly button and skier's pose as your gaze comes in front of your feet. Inhale, come back up. Gaze comes up in front of you, chair pose. Exhale, squeeze your belly button in, skier's pose. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, all the way up, chair pose. Exhale, draw yourself back, skier's pose, gaze in front of your feet. Last round, inhale, reach up, chair pose. Let your shoulder blades rise as you come up. Exhale, draw your belly button in. Gaze comes over your feet, really press into the outer edges of your feet. Inhale to come back to your chair pose. Exhale, rise up, bend your knees. Forward fold, nice work everyone. If it feels good, bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat, maybe coming up onto your toes if this feels better in your ankles and knees. Coming into Malasana squat if that feels good to you. You might bring your hands to heart center. You might find a little bit of movement from side to side, really feeling into the hip creases. This can feel quite nice after that chair sequence. Maybe finding a little bit of stillness. Always an option to sit on a block here. If you don't have a block, find yourself a large book or take a big bath towel, fold it halfway down the middle and roll it up. Lots of things around your home can act as yoga props. You just need to be a little creative. All right, hands come back to the mat. Lower your heels. Bring your feet back together. Forward fold. Start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. You may feel quite a flush, so take a couple of breaths in mountain pose here. Make sure that the air feels right, that the world feels like it's spinning in the right direction. And as you're ready, make your way back to the top of your mat. We're getting ready for a warrior 2. So as you are ready, hands can come to your hips. Bring your weight into your right foot. Take as big a step back on an inhale as you comfortably can, landing with your back foot parallel to the back of the mat. You can play around here a little bit to make sure that your legs get set up the way you want. So make sure that when you bend into that right knee, it does not track over the ankle. If it does, you are too close together with your feet. If that's the case, straighten that front leg, scoot your toes forward, and then bend back in. Keep pressing that right knee towards the right wall. Make sure that you have the ability to bend into your back knee so that you don't hyperextend your left knee. As you're ready, inhale, sweep that right arm out over the right leg. Let the left arm float out. As you exhale, keep your hands where you are. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale to reach. As you exhale, flip the palm of your right hand. Sweep your left hand behind your back. Inhale, reach up and back. Keep your legs where they are. Exalted warrior. Exhale to bring your forearm all the way down to your right thigh. Inhale, reach up and over, side angle. Inhale to come all the way back and up right into exalted warrior. Hand is behind your back. Flip the palm of that right hand. Exhale, back into side angle. We'll do that twice more. Inhale all the way up. Reverse your warrior. Exhale. Land in side angle. Last round. Inhale all the way up. Flip your palm. Reach up and back. Exhale, side angle. Left arm over your ear. Inhale, back to warrior 2. Exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale to reach. As you exhale, windmill your hands to frame your front foot. Rotate your left toes so that they face the front of the mat. Bend into both knees deeply. Pop yourself forward. Forward fold for a breath here. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. As you're ready, root down to rise up. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. And we'll meet in mountain pose, setting up for the opposite side. As you're ready, hands come back to your hips. Weight comes into your left foot. On an inhale, take as big a step back with your right leg as you comfortably can. Landing parallel to the back of your mat, taking the moments that you need to set yourself up. Again, checking in with that left knee in particular. Once you're happy with your left knee, take a look at that right leg. Make sure you have the ability to bend into both knees. Keep pressing that left knee to the left side, and as you're ready, inhale the left arm up over that left thigh. Let the right arm float out behind you. Inhale to reach. As you exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, flip the palm of the left hand. Reach that right hand behind your back. Inhale, reach up and back. As you exhale, lower that left forearm down to the left thigh. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and over your ear. Exhale here. Inhale to reach. Reverse your warrior all the way up and back. Exhale, side angle. Reach up. Inhale, right arm behind your back, the palm of the left, up and back. Reverse your warrior. Exhale. Forearm to thigh, reach up and overhead. Last round. Inhale, come all the way up, reverse your warrior. Exhale, come all the way back down. Side angle. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale to come back to warrior 2. Exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale to reach. And as you exhale, frame your left foot, rotate your right toes, bend deeply into both knees. Rock yourself forward, forward fold. Maybe you walk your hands over to one side, maybe back over to the other side. Make sure that you take a moment to really stretch out that lower back, and as you're ready, inhale to come all the way up. One vertebra at a time, brick by brick, bone by bone. Take a break at the top of your mat. And as you're ready, we'll make our way down onto the mat through one last half sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up to a straight spine. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to a high plank. Set yourself up and then squeezing your elbows into the count of 5. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Right ear to the mat. Arms float out alongside your body. Let your legs go limp. Take a couple of breaths here in front side Shavasana. On your next inhale, gaze comes back to center. Hands come to either side of your mat, just outside of the mat. Tense your fingertips. Gaze stays down at the mat. Feet are about hip width apart. Fronts of the legs are engaged towards the mat. On an inhale, rise up. As you exhale, lower back down. Bobbing cobra. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Bring your left ear to the mat. Arms float out beside you. Relax your legs. Take a break here. Inhale back to center. If you have access to your hands, you may wish to interlace your hands behind your back. If that's not comfortable, you can reach for opposite forearms or even bring your arms out to the side, whatever feels best. Again, engaging the fronts of the legs, you can bring your feet together if this is more comfortable this time. And as you're ready on an inhale, lift your upper body. If you have hold of your hands, send your fists towards your heels. Breathe here for a moment, and if it feels good, on your next inhale, option to lift the legs up to meet. We'll be here for another 3 breaths. If it's not comfortable, if you've lifted your legs, feel free to lower them slowly back to the mat. Last full breath here. And as you exhale, very slowly release. Bringing your right ear back to the mat. Arms are out by your side, legs are loose. We're going to come into one more round of locust. So as you're ready, setting up once again, arms are either out to your side, gaze is straight down, or interlace your hands. If you're interlacing your hands this time, take the opposite grip. So the opposite thumb is on top. On an inhale, peel your shoulders up off the mat. Exhale as you keep your gaze down towards the mat. Option to float the legs up as well if this feels good. Keep rotating your thighs up towards the ceiling. You'll know what that feels like once you get it. Take one more full breath here, and as you exhale, release your grip. Let your left ear come to the mat. Let your arms come out by your side. Relax your legs, maybe wiggle your hips side to side. Nice work, everyone. On your next inhale, bring your gaze back to center. Bring your hands under your shoulders. And as you exhale, press back through tabletop, child's pose. Take a breath here. Arms can be forward or alongside your body, whatever feels best. And then as you're ready, use your hands to walk yourself all the way up. One vertebra at a time. Head is the last thing to come up. Hand comes down to the side of your hips. Release your hips so that your legs can come out straight in front. Find your way to the center of your mat. Hips should be right in the center. Feet are hip width apart, knees bent. Hands can stay behind your hips with your fingers pointing towards them. Or if you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, we're coming into boat pose. So rock yourself back and forth a little bit. You're looking for that spot that's partway between your hip bones and your tailbone, neither of which are comfortable to sit on. So there's that fleshy little part in between the two sets of bones. That's where you're aiming to find yourself seated. As you're ready, arms can float out to the side. They can stay behind your thighs for a little support, or they can stay back behind you. Float first one leg up, then the other. If they don't want to float up today, that's perfectly okay. Just trying to lift your legs up is engaging in boat pose. Most important thing is that your belly button stays tucked into the center. Now, option to stay right here and keep breathing, or we'll bring a little bit of oblique work into it if you'd like, and oars to the side. On an inhale, reach. As you exhale, left taps right. Inhale. Exhale. 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 One more to each side. Tap right. Tap left. Last full breath, and as you exhale, squeeze everything in. Very nicely done. Feet come back to the mat, and as you're ready, just because I love the number 5, bring your hands out to your side and slowly lower down for 5, 4, belly button in, 3, 2, slowly make your way onto your back, onto the mat. Feet come in as close to your hips as you comfortably can. Palms are down at your side. Find length in the back of your neck. Coming into bridge pose, so take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start by rolling your hips into the mat, so you're flattening your lower back into the mat, and then lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your knees towards one another. They don't have to touch, but you don't want them to splay out to the side. You can keep pressing into your hands, into your feet. Make sure that that posterior pelvic tilt is still engaged. And as you're ready, on an inhale, slowly lower down, 1 vertebra at a time. Keep the posterior pelvic tilt the whole time. As you come down, once you land, release, and you'll feel your pelvis come back. Take a breath there. We'll do that one more time. As you're ready, palms down. Inhale, take a deep breath, reach your fingertips forward. As you exhale, roll your hips into the mat. And once you've rolled them, lift up towards the ceiling. Keep that posterior pelvic tilt engaged. Keep squeezing your knees towards one another. You'll feel everything zip up. Inhale to lower down. Keep the posterior pelvic tilt like you're trying to maintain contact with your lower back and the mat. And when you land, when you feel that flat bone, that sacrum hit the mat, you can release the posterior pelvic tilt. Very nicely done, everyone. And we'll come into 2 last stretches. On an inhale, start to root down through your left foot. As you exhale, bend that right knee, place the right ankle onto the left knee, flex your right foot up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing that right knee forward so that you're keeping this nice figure 4. Now, if you're already feeling sensation in that right hip, stay right where you are. Otherwise, coming into full eye of the needle, hands come behind the left knee. Keep that right foot flexed, the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Left foot can do whatever it wants. Keep drawing that right knee forward. You may not have to move very far to get a lot of sensation in this pose. Sensation is okay, pain is not, so be really mindful of your body here. Take one more breath. And on your next inhale, keeping your leg crossed, release your hands. Let that left foot come back to the mat. And then as you exhale, come into a twist by just letting the whole lower part of your body come down until your right foot finds the floor. Option to bring your arms out to a T. Maybe bring your gaze over that right arm and breathe here. Your gaze back to center. On an inhale, bring everything back to center, so left foot hits the mat. As you exhale, uncross that right leg, bring that foot back to the mat. Press both feet in, reset your hips. Then inhale to root down through that right foot. As you exhale, draw the left knee in. Cross your left ankle onto your right knee. Flex your left toes up towards the ceiling. press that left knee towards the front of the mat. Again, maybe stay right where you are. Maybe this is your figure 4 for today. Otherwise, feel free to interlace your hands behind the right knee, any amount. Be mindful because things can feel very different from one side of the pose to the other with this one, especially if we're drivers. Lots of us are seated kind of strangely in our cars, whether we know it or not. Again, left toes point up towards the ceiling. Right foot can do whatever it wants. And we'll take one more full breath here. Deep breath in. Full breath out. As you're ready, inhale. Let that right foot come back to the mat. Release your hands. As you exhale, left foot goes over to the side. Let your whole body come down. Maybe you bring your arms out to the side. Maybe your head or your gaze comes over your left arm. Make sure you're comfortable and that everything feels good in this pose. On your next inhale, start to make your way back onto your back, bringing your right foot to the mat. As you exhale and cross the left leg, bring both feet to the mat, press into the soles of your feet, lift your hips, reset. Draw both knees into your chest, hug everything out. And then as you're ready, slowly return your feet to the mat. Then the left foot comes to the left corner of the mat. Right foot comes to the right corner of the mat. Arms lie open at your side, palms up. Lift your hips to reset your lower back. Lift your shoulders to squeeze your shoulder blades together and down your back, opening up your chest. Dip your chin just a little bit to find length in the back of your neck. And either close your eyes or soften your gaze so you're not looking at anything in particular, and come to rest in Shavasana. Feel free to stay here as long as you like, but when you're ready to come out, start to bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. Maybe reach your arms back overhead, stretching tall, bringing your feet back together, pointing your toes, making yourself as long as possible. And then as you're ready, start to exhale, draw first one knee in, and then the other, coming back into a nice little ball, hugging yourself in. And then making your way over onto your side, taking a moment to rest here and feet up. And then moving slowly and with intention, the same movement, same energy level you had in Shavasana. Press into your hand to bring yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Find yourself back in the center of your mat. Bring your hands together at heart center. Much gratitude for spending this class with me. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay active, and we'll see you soon in class. Namaste.